Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Of course, back here with Greg. Wanted to cover kind of the next 6 months, second half of the year, kind of plans, hopes, dreams. But first things first, Greg, how are you?
Hey, Jason, I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. I know exciting times. Hopefully you had a good holiday. Obviously I know you're the US, so happy July 4th. But here, hopping into it. So people asking, what does the next 6 months look like? What are some big milestones, some things we hope to get done? Where do you want to start?
Yeah. By the way, I hope you had a great Canada Day, by the way, right before our fourth holiday. But yeah, so we're really excited about what's going on right now, especially some of the news announcements that we just made yesterday, and then a couple other announcements that are coming up. So of course, sort of the big news for us that we just was fresh off the press was that we've entered into collaboration with the University of Michigan, and specifically with George Mashur, who is the chair of the Department of Anesthesiology there. So we're super excited about that on both fronts. University of Michigan, of course, is a well-known institution based in the Midwest here in the United States. Fantastic researchers on many different levels, and Dr. Mashur himself, highly regarded individual, lots of different publications, fantastic work. So we've announced a collaboration with his department and his team to help us evaluate formulations around our unique version of psilocybin. So we're very excited to embark on that. We've been working on this, of course, for months, kind of behind the scenes, putting all the pieces together. Dr. Mashur and his team are going to help complete what are called IND enabling studies. So these are the studies required to help us get in front of the Food and Drug Administration to get approval to run our clinical studies with our material. So this is a really big step that we've been running in parallel alongside these multiple phase 2A studies that we plan to have up and running very shortly. So that's the first piece of news. So we're very excited about that just right out the gate.
Yeah, no, awesome. Obviously, congratulations. I know we were talking about, INDs. Do you want to maybe break that up a tiny bit for people that aren't super pharma familiar and are kind of just learning about the
Sure.
space now?
Yeah. Like any industry, there's lots of acronyms, right? So yeah, FDA, Food and Drug Administration for starters. IND is a investigational new drug application. We just call it IND for short. So that's the process you've got to go through to get approval from the agency or from the Food and Drug Administration to get approval to go ahead and start clinical studies. Ours, of course, is not really necessarily directly a new drug. It's a derivative and a slight modification of a drug, psilocybin, that's been around for a long period of time. So we're using a very specific exemption to run a very modest set of what are known as bridging studies to show comparable efficacy and safety in certain surrogate models. So that's what an IND is, and that's what we expect to get filed on our formulation. Great segue, by the way, into some future looking things as we're kind of going forward. The hope, the dream, the things that we're kind of working very hard behind the scenes around are actually just that. We anticipate filing at least 2 INDs shortly. One with the University of Florida. We've already announced that collaboration with Dr. Miller's lab. That will be a clinical study, a phase 2A trial, open label in eating disorders. We expect to have that IND filed just very momentarily, and so very excited about that. And then of course, anticipating dosing our first patients in that exploratory trial sometime a few months from here forward. So that's one. Secondly, we have another IND that we expect to file with a second yet to be named academic institution. It's very well regarded shop. It's one that everyone's going to know and be familiar with. We have a second IND with them that we plan to file in just a matter of months in a completely different indication that will also be public on here shortly. We're excited about that because it gives us a second shot on goal, gives us a shot with psilocybin in a completely different indication in a disease state that we know is really hard pressed for really good treatments right now. And we're working with the leading experts in that arena. So we're very excited about all that, and we'll have some more details on that next. And then also this year, we've got a third academic collaboration that we hope to be able to announce. Actually, it will be technically, I guess, our fourth. 3 different institutions, 4 different partnerships potentially. This other institution is based in Southern California. They have a body of experts in a specific arena in chronic pain, and we expect to potentially announce a third IND, with a partnership and a third IND with them. So those are a couple of the big pieces of news that we're anticipating. I guess the other piece is that we will have cGMP material, which means, again, a great pharma acronym, right? So we will have what's known as clinical grade material. So material that we manufacture that can be used in clinical studies is essentially what that stands for, under good manufacturing practices. So that material will be ready. We anticipate, shortly we'll have an announcement about that. So we've got a number of different, news releases, both on the clinical front as well as on the manufacturing side, and related to some of our academic collaboration. So we're really excited about what the next several months in the back half of 2021 look for at Tryp.
Yeah, no, awesome. Obviously, some huge pieces, and I guess as kind of the extension of the question, I saw someone asking, really is, success to you in terms of the next 6 months is getting a lot of these things moving, getting them launched, or is there other kind of things that you see as success within the next 6 months?
Yeah, I think that for us internally, those are the big operational things that we're focused on. Obviously, execution is really important, and actually making all this happen takes a tremendous amount of energy and time and resources for us, and so we're highly focused on that. So for sure, that's probably good 60-70% of the effort that's going on. I would say the other thing is that I'm personally very excited to be able to get out and talk to more investors about what we're doing, kind of get the message out, have more conversations with people, like yourself, about what we're up to, and also, directly with investors from time to time when we can, because I think that what we're doing is, we've been sort of working in the woodshed, so to speak, kind of getting all this stuff done. But I think now it's time to, come out and let everyone know what we've been up to and share, some of the good news. So I think that's another big, part of this year that we're excited about. I mean, obviously, sort of nearly post COVID, I guess we'll call it. Knock on wood, hopefully the Delta variant doesn't kind of bite us in the backside. But pending that, we're anticipating getting out a little bit more, traveling a bit, and having some more face-to-face conversations with investors about our progress at Tryp. So I'd say that's the other thing I'm personally excited about to do for the rest of this year as well.
Yeah, no, awesome. Well, hey, well, thanks so much for taking the time. Again, I want to invite anyone who has questions. We will do a Q&A video coming up. If you've got questions about things over the next 6 months, please drop them below. But great, thanks so much for taking the time.
Of course, happy to be here. Great to see you, Jason.